Welcome back to the channel, Indiana at the voice of college football. It is 11-11, make a wish on the dot. Fresh off of Indiana's 73-0 win over Indiana State. It was dominating. It was beautiful. We got Cignetti chewing people out. We got a bunch of angry faces. It was everything we wanted from this game and more. Get into that in just a bit. But yeah, it's good to be sitting here on a Friday night off a dominating win. Nothing more really to say about that. But I want to start with the crowd before I get into the actual little bits and parts of the game. Again, I'm coming at you guys from Friday night. This will be released Saturday morning. Brad and I will be live tomorrow to do a whole game breakdown. But a lot has been made of the crowd. I have made a lot of the crowd. I've been very vocal about what and in part Cignetti as well, like calling out people for leaving at halftime and doing things of that nature. And the crowd tonight was phenomenal. There was no excuse for that crowd to be good. I wasn't expecting to see many people there. The students for all three non-conference games have been phenomenal. The students were there, but just the crowd in general was great. And so I have to shout out the people for showing up. It was a beautiful night in Bloomington. I think it was like 80 degrees at kickoff or something like that. All the pictures from the stadium looked perfect. Crimson Cast had a big day. Shout out to Galen Clavio getting on the actual broadcast, talk about the Bison. That was awesome. But they posted a picture from the tailgate lots at like noon or something like that. I was like, oh, serious FOMO. Those guys are doing it right. But I thought the crowd was great. Shout out to Bloomington. They showed out and the team delivered in a huge way. There wasn't much in terms of like keys to this game. Indiana needed to dominate. They needed to make it look good. They needed to flip the metrics, is what I was saying going into this game. ESPN's FPI metric, for as much garbage and as much as I'm going to tell you not to pay attention to it early in the season, the more you feed it data, the more accurate it becomes. And so when you can put games like this on tape and put stats like this on the field, it just makes everything else look better. And the fact that Indiana was able to execute the way they did in the passing game. Mendoza was 19 of 20, I think, or something crazy like that. He set the program record for completion percentage in a game. He was unbelievable. He was throwing into windows I didn't even think were open on TV. I know it wasn't the best competition, but in terms of just crispness, in terms of like getting to your drop, releasing the football, delivering on target and on time and with velocity, and holy cow, like this was unreal tape for Fernando Mendoza. Like he looked every bit of what we thought he was going to be coming into the season. And his favorite target last week was Elijah Sarad. His favorite target tonight overwhelmingly was Omar Cooper. Cooper caught 4 touchdowns, 3 of them from Fernando, 1 of them from Alberto at the beginning of the second half. He had a massive game. I think he was like 10 for 200 and 4 touchdowns, tied James Hardy for the most touchdowns in a single game for an Indiana receiver. So yeah, the offense was clicking. It's funny. I was just about to say that like the passing game took off this week, but the running game kind of got left behind. But no, that's not even true because for the third time this season, the Indiana Hoosiers ran for 300 yards in a game. So it was pure domination on all sides of the ball. The one real negative, and I'll get to the football stuff in a second, is the fact that Lee Beebe Jr. had. It was hard to tell from my angle when I first saw the play. It looked like he kind of banged his knee, but the way people were reacting on Twitter and the way Cignetti reacted to it when he was asked about it after the game doesn't sound great. Seems like it was a non-contact knee injury, so we're really hoping for the best there. It doesn't seem like we're going to hear about that until Sunday or Monday. So obviously prayers for Lee Beebe. Hopefully that it's just a scare and nothing major there. But I mean, they were able to run the ball, and like we didn't get much of Roman Hemby in this game. I think that was by design. Once you go up so big, Hemby has proven he's a Big Ten workhorse. He's not the guy you really want to get work here. I thought Kaylon Black, again, for the third time this year, looked tremendous. He was phenomenal. BB for the carries he was getting looked great. Kobe Martin, I tweeted about this. Kobe Martin looks like he put in a shitload of work in the offseason. Like that dude looks like a completely different player in the best way. He looked explosive. He looked shifty. He looked confident. That was really exciting for John Miller's running back room. And a big shout out to Derek Owings as well and the strength and conditioning staff, because you could tell that dude's been in the gym. And then Sean, they were calling him, what was it? Cuno. They were calling him Cuno on the broadcast and in the stadium. I was calling him Cuono since he committed. So I apologize, Sean Cuno. But Cuno got in the game, got his first carries. That was awesome. The running back room on full display. All those guys look great. But yeah, to throw for, I think Fernando had 5 touchdowns, ran for 1. Alberto threw for 2 touchdowns. They ran for a bunch of them like that. It was just everything you wanted from, like, in terms of a dominant offensive performance, a dominant defensive performance. I don't think they had a first down until the second half. Like it, and the craziest part about this game is that, and I know you can't take, like, they don't count turnover on downs as takeaways. So like the fake punt, which was utterly ridiculous for people who were at the game, obviously it looked a little different. But for anybody watching from home, when they didn't flash the penalty on the screen before they went to commercial, when Clay Connor got his hand on another punt. Shout out to Clay Connor, Boonville's finest. So we just came back from break, and it was like Indiana State's punter catches the ball and gets leveled by Stephen Daly. And I was like, I don't even understand what just happened, but that's not a turnover. So Indiana technically 0 turnovers today, still put up 73 points. Utterly ridiculous performance, completely dominant. And there was but there were still things that you would like to see cleaned up. But in terms of like a key to the game being dominate when you win 73-0 and you look that good doing it, yeah, smash that one, fellas. Phenomenal stuff. It was good to see a lot of the young guys. Another key to this game was to get the younger guys in there, to see the freshmen, to see the second year guys. Like, we got a lot of the second team defense in this game. We got a lot of the second team offensive line. We saw a lot of the receiver room. It got deep. We saw obviously the Martin and Cuno, the 2 redshirt freshman running backs. Kyler Garcia got in across the defensive line. Like, we saw pretty much all the depth linebackers. Jaja Boyd was in there for a large chunk. Knighton and Gandy were in there. Hollywood Bell was in there. So it was really good to see those guys get playing time. Obviously, I don't know the complete snap count, but you look at the fact that aside from really that one drive, I think late in the third quarter, maybe early in the fourth quarter, where the Indiana State had back-to-back first downs for I think the only time all game, defense was clamps no matter who was in the game. So that was really encouraging to see. And just a final note, even with seeing so many young guys, Indiana State outgained 2024 Purdue by 10 yards. It's food for thought. And the third key was mistake-free football. And for the most part, yes, they did play mistake-free football. We didn't see any real uncharacteristic drops, although Surratt kind of had one when Alberto first came in the game. He's not going to drop many of those. I'll echo something I saw Jamie Jordan say, and I'm sure a lot of people were feeling the same way. The first couple throws of the game where Mendoza opened up and he put it right on EJ's chest, but like EJ got lit up. And then the next play, Surratt gets lit up for I guess they must have just changed the rules of targeting, or like Elijah Surratt must have just like assaulted the referees, all of them, because for some reason this kid can't get a call. That you could be draped all over Elijah Surratt, like you could take his head off, like it literally doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to get called for a penalty if you, for whatever reason. So I don't know what the deal with that was, but it was a little scary to like 2 plays, like, I don't want to call them hospital balls because they were good throws within the structure of the offense, and that's what it calls for. I didn't love seeing that. And then you have like the fumble forward, and shout out to Pat Coogan, who's just always on, like, always aware, always doing the right thing, diving on that football. That could have been a much different opening drive. The Hoosiers did something they hadn't done all year and scored on their first offensive possession. There was, I don't want to call it, there weren't a ton, like, stupid penalties, but there were some penalties. Like, there was the BB face mask thing people were calling like a technique thing. Obviously, I've never taught running backs at a pass block, but seemed pretty consensus that wasn't, like, that was a technique issue. So I think that's not something that Cignetti is going to be too upset about. Couldn't see what the special, like, the broadcast in terms of camera work wasn't great, so I couldn't see what the special teams penalty was. Seemed like a couple of the calls were kind of ticky-tacky, so I'm not really sure what was going on there. But, like, again, we saw Carter Smith get chewed out for his false start. We saw Mendoza getting chewed out for a couple of his decisions. Cignetti wasn't 100% pleased with his decision-making, which is hilarious given the fact, again, 19 of 20, 6 touchdowns total. And Buffton Prime Teakout tweeted this out, and I agreed with this too. It's funny. He said he turns on the game and all he sees is Cignetti chewing out Mendoza. So he checks the box score to see what's going on, and Mendoza's 11 for 11 with a touchdown. And so it's just like Cignetti himself said he's a watchdog for complacency, and he's gonna find it and he's gonna snuff it out. And like he was pleased with the effort his team gave in this game, and when that guy's satisfied, like I don't want to say it's satisfied because that dude's never satisfied, but when that guy is giving you those types of positive responses after football games, it means he did something pretty well. And then in terms of like busted coverages, again, I would like to see the all 22. It seemed like there was maybe some holes in the zones for some plays to be made, but Indiana State just wasn't capable of taking advantage of anything if it even was there. So I'm not really sure if there was anything open other than really that like first play. It seemed like it like went off the receiver's fingertips. Other than that, I don't know. The goal for this game was to strike fear, right? So you want people to look at this score and be like, yeah, they played nobody. But holy shit, they put up a whole bunch of points. And holy shit, they put up a whole bunch of points. So Brad and I are going to be back tomorrow morning by the time this drops. So Sunday morning, we'll wrap up Indiana State, and then we're on to Illinois. Illinois has been doing a lot of talking. We're going to play some football next week, boys. It's going to be fun. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning. Appreciate you hanging out. Go Hoosiers.